What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're gonna finally take a look at the Transformers Masterpiece MP-44, the version 3.0 Optimus Prime. So obviously I'm not the first reviewer to review this thing. It's been out for a little bit. I got this from Amazon Japan, so I did not pay the full retail price. The full retail price on this is $450. I paid $350 on Amazon Japan. So this came basically today, and I wanted to take a look at it as soon as I can. But for the review today, I'm not going to be doing the transformation. There are lots of transformation videos out there already. Actually, I've been talking all week long with my buddies Pig for Life and T-Man 978. We've been discussing this figure and the ups and downs and kind of the positives and negatives. And so if you're looking for a transformation, please go take a look at Pig's video or look at T-Man's video. Or I will be doing another transformation video following this one. But this is really for comparison of MS-01, TE-01, and MP-10. All right, on the box you have a really cool image. You've got that movie shot here. It's pretty cool. On the side you've got the vehicle mode, nothing on the top, just a standard foil writing. Robot mode on this side, and on the back you've got the 1 million features, but tons of features, tons of accessories. This comes with so much stuff. So without further ado, let's get onto the figure and see how cool it really is. So here is the figure out of the packaging. It comes in vehicle mode just like this, and this is the kind of the first impression you get. And right from the get-go, the front of the truck looks really awesome. Here's the close-up here. You've got these not translucent but semi-opaque windows, which is pretty cool. You've got the chrome, which I like the chrome. I wasn't a huge fan of the non-chromed grill on the TE-01, although I love TE-01, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm glad that they added the chrome back. You've got the chrome on here. On these windows, everything's chromed out, so that's good. I think that really looks good. Here's the side of the truck. You've got it's not quite rubber. They're like a plasticky rubber sort of thing. Here's the back. You've got some tail lights there, which does look good. I think that's a good looking rear. But here's where things kind of get messy. Here's the top of the truck bed. Now, people might argue you're going to put the trailer here, so maybe you won't see that, but from the front it looks really good. From the side it looks pretty good. Back is okay. It's just this one piece here kind of bothers me, but it's not a deal breaker. It's okay. Let's bring in the trailer so we can see the truck mode all together. Here is the trailer. There are a million features in this. We will cover them all, but there it is with the trailer. It really looks good. It's a great looking vehicle mode. So here's my trusty Blue Streak, and he can drive right up that ramp and get into the truck. There's a little bit of a lip there, so you kind of get it over, but he can drive in and drive out. Let's take a quick look around the trailer here. So you do have the blue down here instead of the black like we had on MP-10. Actually, let's get the MP-10 trailer in here just for comparison. Here's the MP-10 trailer. Now, that's the only trailer we have. We don't have one for MS-01 or for the TE-01. So, but they did include the same gimmick with these auto-transforming side pieces. They also have these where you can basically get it to stand on its own. That. Here you have the inside of the trailer. You can do a lot with this. So you've got the articulating arm here for the repair drone, or whatever you call him. And he does have the original little grappling arm here. You also got the radar dish piece there. And that is kind of what you would expect. You know, it's just how it was in the original. You do have a cockpit here that opens up. And there are a lot of little figures that can go in there, so I'm going to show those. There he is with Spike inside of the repair drone, whatever you call it. And if it's in good, you can close the cap. You can also move out these missiles here using these little pieces here. And I like that they don't fire because you don't lose them. The original actually shot these missiles out. This is a little better of a gimmick, so you can use them without having it, losing it, basically. Now you can also put the minifigures in here. So here you have Carly over in the side bay here, and then you've got spark plug, and he's on this magnetic piece. There's several magnetic pieces. There's one here, here, and here, and on the ramp itself. So you got plenty of places to put them. It was very creative the way they did this. I like this setup, but lots of options. You can also store the weapons here on the side. You see I've got the gas piece here already in there. You can also put the gun right here. If you fold this up, here's Optimus Prime's gun. You can peg that right in there, and that stays there. So here's the final mode you can do with the trailer. This is kind of the command bay or command center mode, and it looks really good. I love that you can fold these down, and they have a magnetic surface where the figures can stick onto them. That's a really good playability feature. You can also orient the repair drone the other direction. You basically just turn around and slide it in the other way, and now he faces the other direction. It doesn't seem as secure this way, but it still fits. It does articulate. Now you also have a way to open up the trailer here, and once you do that, you can have him sticking out, poking out of the top of the thing. There's a lot you can do with this. I'm not going to go through every single option, but there's one option. You can also do it out of the front here using these two panels, and now he can stick out of the front like this. So lots of options there for the repair drone. Now, last thing you do with the trailer is you can store everything on it and in it. So you've got the jetpack here, just kind of pegs into the top there. You can put the blast effects in there, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me to have blast effects on the back of the trailer, but you can do it. If you pull out this drawer here where the taillights are, you've found everything for robot mode. So you've got the alternate heads, and we'll take a look at that in robot mode. You've got the battle damage piece here, you've got the two blast effects, and you've got the axe here, and they all fit in there very nicely. It's a cool little touch. I'm glad they did this. I think that's a good idea. And one more little feature, you can put the minifigures into Roller. Here's Roller. It's actually pretty cool. You can open up his little engine bay there, and that's what's in there. You can put all three figures in there, and they can sit in there. They're a little bit hard to get in there, but they can do that. And you can also plug Roller right into here, into the trailer. Now, it doesn't shoot like it did in the old one, but I don't really want it to shoot. It just kind of secures there, which is nice, because when you're moving the trailer around, it doesn't fall out of, or, you know, jostle around inside the trailer. So that's a good feature. The thing you can do with the Roller is you can use it to pull this. So you fold up these sliding pieces which go into the actual trailer. You fold up these wheels, and they tab into the sides right here. You can fold this up for now, and you fold out this little trailer piece here, and that's the hitch. That attaches to the bottom of Roller, and now you can pull this around, and it's got all the features you had when it was inside of Optimus's trailer. Oops. Lost the wheels there. It is a little bit insecure in terms of the wheels. The wheels tend to not stay very well, but this is just a cool little feature. And again, you can put two people here, one person there. A lot of options for playability here. It's very nice that they did that. Another option you have for Roller is you can take the top part of the repair bay, and you can pull out this tab piece there, and that's going to fit right into the middle there. And now you've got this look here, little Roller with a tech thing on it, which is kind of cool. But you have that option. One more thing you can do with the trailer, you can plug in the gas can and the gun, and he can whirl around with all this stuff. He can come along and gas up his buddies with this piece. I thought these were painted, but they appear to be metallic flecked plastic, which were really nice. And the last thing you can do with the Roller is you can use them to pull the trailer. So you can flip this over and fold in the legs, and you see you've got that little tab there at the bottom of the trailer. Fits in right in there, and now roller can pull in. The weight is a little bit too much, so he tends to pop up, but he can pull him along. So let's take a closer look at the little action figures. They do have quite a bit of articulation. It's kind of surprising. They've got a ab crunch and a really tight swivel. They've got ball jointed arms and legs, but they tend to pop off just like that. So you kind of have to be careful, but you can get them folded over and into different positions. They all kind of can do this hunching pose. So they definitely have more articulation than the original MP-10 figures, but they tend to fall apart on you. Here's the Spike one. His head actually does rotate, which is nice. There's a close-up. Get it to focus. There you go. And it looks nice. It's just the quality on these is okay. They're not amazing. It is nice that they articulate. You can probably get some nice poses out of it, but they're so small, they're just really hard to work with. Now, Sparkplug is probably better, but Spike definitely falls apart. His legs fall off, his arms fall off. It kind of reminds me of the original Spike, where just things would fall apart. But it's nice that they included these. I like the hard hats, but it tends to come apart. Here's another ball joint there for the waist. So not great. They're okay in my opinion, but good enough to include. One last feature in truck mode is you can open up the doors here, and you can fit the figures inside. So any of them, they all fit inside. You can just kind of get them squished up there, and they go right in there. You can get two figures in, one on each side. They do fit. And that's an interesting feature. I don't know if I really need that, but it's cool that they have that. Let me move on to the actual truck. So what I want to do is kind of show off this truck with the other Masterpiece Optimus Primes we've gotten, and kind of take a look at how this matches up with those. First, let's take a look at this guy versus the MP-10. So here they are together, both the MP-10 and MP-44 with their trailers. They are pretty much the same height, width, and length for the trailers. They're obviously very different colors, so you can see this is more of a silver, where this is a gray. And even the side, you know, you don't have these stripes. This was a toy thing, but this is very cartoon accurate. It looks a lot like the cartoon. And if you look from the front, you can kind of see the differences in the cab modes. It's also set a lot further back on the MP-44. You see there's only a little bit of gap here between the trailer and the cab, whereas here there's a lot more gap. You also see some of the stuff here, which for me, I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's okay. It does roll really nicely. All the wheels roll just like you did on MP-10. It's very smooth and just works well. So here we have all of the modern day Masterpiece Optimus Primes, at least the G1 versions. And you've got MP-10 TE-01 transform element, MP-44 Takara Tomy, and the Magic Square MS-01. Obviously these glass pieces have been customized. Everything else on this is standard, but these two have been customized. So just ignore that. Those were translucent blue like the rest of these. Now, taking a look at these truck modes, especially the front, I definitely think this is the most cartoon accurate, and that's what MP-44 is going for. In fact, let's take a quick look at the G1 cartoon. Look at that up there in the corner here, and I think we're going to see that it is MP-44 that's got the win there. So here are the backs of the truck modes, and you can see the MS-01 and the MP-10 obviously have the highest truck beds. Those are just not very accurate to the vehicles in question here, but I feel like the MS-01 looks pretty good in terms of the cleanliness of it. this is where things kind of, I'm not sure they really tried hard to make this clean. When we get to robot mode, I think we'll realize why you've got all this stuff going on. When you put the trailer on, you hide some of this, but there is some that just stays exposed, and I don't really like that. But who's looking at the truck from the back? Most of the time you're looking from the front, so it's not going to be an issue for most people. I think most people are going to look at it from the front, but here it is in case you want to know what they all look like. So like I said before, we're not going to show the transformation on camera. We are going to get these guys transformed and do a comparison once we get them into robot mode. So we'll get these transformed, be right back. And here we have MP-44 all transformed up into robot mode. And it really does look good. Let's first take a quick 360 of this figure. I mean, it really is beautiful. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of accessories. We're going to go over everything. I don't really want to show me putting the accessories into his hands, so I'm going to just show you quick shots of all those accessories. But this is the main feature, right? I mean, it looks absolutely stunning. So let's get into the robot mode. So first, when you look at this figure, the cartoon accuracy it screams, it's like right out of the cartoon. And one of the things that's really awesome about this figure is the articulation. So I'm going to go over the articulation first because I think that's the highlight of this figure. So let's take a look at his head. Goes up to there, goes down there. You can actually get a little bit extra by getting it off of this joint there. You don't have to make it so obvious. You can just lift it up a little bit, and that doesn't look too bad. So you can look down, you can look up. He's got plenty of motion. It's a nice tight joint there, by the way. Rotates all the way around. The ears do not rotate. They do appear to be a little bit bent, so you can kind of see it's bent inwards there. I don't really like that, but it is what it is. It's sort of a soft plastic. They do feel like they could break. Now, they haven't broken. I haven't broken any of them, so it hasn't broken yet, but I feel like it could break. But plenty of articulation. You get the side to side there. I mean, you get all the head articulation you could possibly want there. So moving on with the figure, you do get a ton of articulation on the arm here, so let's take a look at that. You get the butterfly joint out and back, both directions, and you can get it all the way up to there if you want to. That tucks back in. You get the ratcheted rotation. We'll get to that in a little bit. That's his sound chip. You do get the rotation of the bicep. It rotates all the way around. This smokestack does kind of fold back. It doesn't pull up like the old MP-10 or any of the other Masterpiece Optimus figures, but it does fold into the arm, so it kind of tucks away. You do have a double jointed elbow. Gets all the way up to there, which is nice. You have a rotation at the wrist. You have fingers very similar to the MP-36, the Megatron, and actually there it is with the fingers, and they look good. They're more humanoid than robot, but they match up with the Masterpiece Megatron look. You do get a little bit of in and out articulation here on the hand, which is nice. It's not quite on a ball joint, but it is on a swivel, and it's got a little bit of rock on that. You get a little bit of swivel, but you can actually pull it off of this joint here, and then you get basically infinite infinite ab crunch all the way down to there. If you wanted to, you can make it a little less subtle, or a little more subtle by just bending it a little bit. And then once you get it off that peg, you can get it rotated pretty much all the way around. Let's see. You can get it up to there, so that's plenty of rotation. You don't really need any more than that. It starts to look funny anyway, so you don't really want it to go any further than there. There are some issues here. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I want to get through the articulation. So you got plenty plenty of ab crunch and swivel, everything you need there. The legs are very interesting in terms of the engineering here. So they go all the way up to here, and then this hip skirt starts to fold inwards, and it automatically pushes this one out. So you can get the kick all the way up to there, rotates all the way back. This hip skirt rotates out of the way, and then this one on the side also rotates out of the way. It does feel like his hips are a little bit too far forward in terms of being in line with his body. They're a little bit forward. His thighs and calves, his calves seem to be a little bit further back, but his thighs just are way up here. It just the line of the figure is a little bit off. And if you don't know what I mean, let me just bring in TE-01, and you can see how his thighs are perfectly in line with his head. Here you can see the thighs are like a little bit forward, and they kind of are right up against the front of the figure. But you don't really look at it from the side, so it doesn't matter. We're just going to leave this guy here take this guy out of here for a minute. Continuing on with the leg, we're going to get into a little bit of issue here, but you do have a double jointed knee. So let me show you this one. So this one, it has a ratchet there, and then it's got another ratchet inside right there. So you get that double jointed knee, really nice articulation. The problem is there is a flaw where this joint fails. So you can hear there's no more ratchet there. The ratchet's gone. This one is still working. So if I hold this knee pad down, if you hold this down, you can get that ratchet to work. But the bottom one is not functioning anymore. It's totally broken. So that's kind of a bummer. You can also kind of manipulate this knee pad here up and down, which is nice. I like that you can do that. The legs tend to sometimes come apart, and you just got to squeeze them back together. I don't really like that. I wish they would just stay together on their own. But as you're manipulating, as you're articulating, it tends to come apart there at the knee, especially right here. It just tends to come apart right there. Continuing down the leg, you do have a huge a huge ankle tilt and ankle pivot on a ratcheted joint. So you can get down to there, up to there. You do have a little bit of a cover down. Now, when you push this down, you do expose the red pieces, which is part of his cab in truck mode. It's okay, you can kind of cover it up, but it's a little bit unsightly. But either way, it's okay. And that's pretty much all of his articulation. Now he does have a sound chip, so you do have to open up this backpack here. It's tabbed in right there, into there. And the batteries, there's a compartment right here. You take that screw off, and there's 3 LR44s in there. And then there's a switch here to turn it on off. So right there, you can see that switch. So you turn it on, and then you can press this button.
Transform and roll out. I am Optimus Prime. Autobots, transform and roll out. One shall stand, one shall fall. Transform, one shall I transform and roll out.
So there's all the sounds. It's pretty cool. I like that they included that. It's just a little bit irritating to go through all the Japanese to get to the one you want. And when you turn off this off switch, it does not save. You have to go back to the English by cycling through all 4 sets. Oh, you know what? We forgot a couple things here. We did forget the thigh swivel in terms of the articulation. It doesn't really break up the sculpt. If you look at the back, it breaks the sculpt a little bit, but it's not too bad. And it does kind of stop right there. There's a stopper in there that prevents it from going any further. So all in all, very articulated, really fun kind of figure. Oh, I forgot, you also can get the arms all the way up to there. So a couple other joints that you have there. But all in all, tons and tons of articulation on this guy. So let's go over some of the weapons and accessories that he comes with. He comes with a lot of stuff. So I'm going to try to go over all of those pretty quickly. Just in terms of how it comes off. The head pulls off like that, and it's got a cavity there that fits onto here. So I'm not going to show that each time. I just wanted to show you that's how the head detaches. So let's take a close-up look here. So here's the standard head that he comes with, and that looks really nice. That's kind of the movie style or season 2 style head. That looks really good. Here he is with the more rounded head. Again, you've got some bending on the ears there. I don't know what the deal with that is. Why couldn't they make those straight? We had them straight on the other one, but there you have that. There he is with the damaged face. Now this, I don't believe this was from the movie. This is from another scene from the cartoon, but it looks good. I wish it had some kind of like details in there, but it's cool. It's got the bent antenna. I mean, they're all bent actually, but this one's really bent. It also comes with a battle damaged chest piece. There you go, and that looks really good. It's painted. It just has a little tab right there, and it pegs onto his side. These aren't necessarily from the same scene in the movie, but you can recreate a battle damage scene with the head and the body there where he got shot by Megatron. And there he is with the Starscream cosplay kind of head. It's actually a really good looking head. I hope they make a new Starscream with that head, but it also has the Starscream, the parts of his jets, the intakes there, and that looks kind of cool. And of course, what would it be Optimus Prime without the Matrix? You can't open up these doors. There's a little ridge, so you gotta lift them up and pull them open. And here is the chamber, so you're gonna open up this door here, and then this kind of pulls out, which is kind of nice. You can pull that out forward. Makes it easier to get to the Matrix. And this is essentially the same Matrix that we got with MP-10. Pull it out there. And it's got instead of the clear jewel, it's got a painted jewel there. That looks nice. But essentially the same as the one we got with MP-10, but painted. And there he is with his blaster, ion blaster. And that looks really good. It fits in like the standard weapons for Masterpiece figures with the little tab. This one is a little bit looser than I'd like it to be, but with the fingers posed, you can get it on there. Now, the battle axe is a little bit different, so I wanted to show that you kind of have to pull this hand off. It slides off the peg here, and it's a little bit tight, and you end up with that piece right there. And you basically are going to slide this onto there. And it can articulate a little bit. If you push it too far down, it comes off, but basically you can articulate there. And then you can get this look. You also have the weapon effects, blast effect parts, so you can do stuff like that. Now this does make the weapon really long and a little bit heavy, but he's able to hold it no problem. Another feature we have is we can store the gun. You basically can peg it in right here on the side of the robot mode. And you have a couple different ways. You can do it like that, and I kind of like that look. You can actually fold it in half and store it that way. You can also open up this tab here on the back, and you can slide that onto there. So he has it on his butt. So lots of options there for storage, but you can store the weapon on his back. And last but not least, you have the jetpack. It is painted. In fact, everything on this is painted. It does just sort of clip under the top, and you can see that there's two peg holes here that are gonna kind of attach here. There you go. There he is with his jetpack. And there it is with the blast effects. That looks really cool. I like the fact that you can put those into the backpack. And one final little Easter egg, the jetpack does fit onto Sideswipe. This is the MP-14 plus or MP-12 plus version of Sideswipe, so it's got the anime color, but it will fit on any version. It looks really good, and it matches his paint, obviously, because it's from Sideswipe. It's a perfect match with his paint. I'm pretty sure this was designed to fit just for completeness. You can also put the blast effect in Sideswipe's shoulder cannon. I haven't found that this fits in any other Masterpiece figures, guns or cannons. This is the only one I've found that it actually works with. Maybe it's going to work with their version of Hound when he comes out, but right now this is the only one I could find that it worked with. The final feature I want to show is the display stand. So this is basically the inner bot from the trailer. You can basically lock this piece right here. You push this button upwards. Now mine doesn't really lock. It kind of fails, and I think they're all that way. It's just a design flaw, but you want to lock this top piece so it's not rotating, and then you can move all this. But it basically slides in right here on the back of Optimus Prime. There's 2 slots on each side, so you can slot this in here. And there you go. You can get a nice pose on the stand. It's kind of cool. I do wish they had fixed this. This joint tends to fail. It's actually not covered in the manual at all, but you can get some cool stuff like that. I just wish it actually worked properly. So now that we've finally gotten through all of the accessories for this guy, let's take a look at some comparisons with some other figures. So there he is with the MP-36 Masterpiece Megatron. They do definitely look good together. They stand pretty much head to head, face to face, same height. Definitely a good pair here. There he is with the Masterpiece Sunstreaker, the last version of the G1 Masterpiece figure that we got. It's been a while. I mean, this came out a long time ago, but these two definitely look good together. I love that they've painted the entire figure just like they did with Sunstreaker. That really sets it apart. And there he is with Smokescreen, just for an older MP carbot. And again, the scale here is perfect. It's exactly what I want. I don't see any issue or concern with the size or scale of this figure. And here we have all of the Masterpiece Optimi together. And very clearly, there's no doubt in my mind that MP-44 is the most cartoon accurate, the best looking figure of all of them. Transform Element definitely had a pretty good attempt, and I think they came pretty close. But when you hold these side by side and you look at them, it's definitely the MP-44 that's got it. Now, MP-10 is a little unfair to compare MP-10 and MP-44. This is over 10 years old at this point. 10 years old? That might be wrong. It's older. And the technology and just the craft of making these things has changed since the time this came out. These 3 are more modern. These 3 are fair to compare because they come out in the same year, in the same few months. But this one is definitely a little bit older. So for its time, MP-10 was really pretty good. But now when you see these together, now let's just move this out of here so we can put the G1 cartoon image there. And I think we'll see, especially from the movie, he's going to look the most accurate for MP-44. Now if we take a look at the side profile, you'll see that MP-44 has the largest backpack. I don't have an issue with the backpack, to be honest. It's a little bit big, but it does store a sound chip in there, and we showed off the sound chip earlier. I think that was a good feature to have. I feel like it's worth the sacrifice of having that backpack. Now, to be fair, the MP-10 had a little bit of a backpack, and so does the Magic Square. The one that has no backpack whatsoever and is very smooth is the TE-01. But it doesn't really bother me that much about that. Now, what does bother me are the legs. So let's take a look at the legs of all of these guys. Now, if you take a look, you're going to see that the Transform Element has the cleanest and smoothest look to its legs. Probably with Magic Square coming in a second. The MP-44 has probably the worst. It's got a lot of breakup here, a lot of unsightly stuff. You can see the wheels in there. You can see some red. I mean, you've got a lot of exposed stuff there. Now, you're not looking at your figures from the back, right? But again, you've got screw holes. And you can see how Magic Square and TE are much cleaner, even with the screws, right? The screws are kind of hidden. There's some down here, but Magic Square is pretty clean. So when it comes to cleanliness, especially on the back, I think MP-44 doesn't have the win there. Now, if you talk about accessories for a minute here in robot mode, let's forget about vehicle mode for a second. MP-44 is the clear out and outright winner. You see this pile of stuff. They all have the axe, so we can kind of eliminate that from the mix. And what's left is transform elements. Still got the adapter for the MP-10 trailer, so that's nice. But MP-10 and MP-44 both come with a trailer, a roller, little minifigures, and all of this stuff. So MP-44, clear winner on accessories, clear winner on playability, and I think in terms of just the amount of stuff you're getting, the value, I think you're getting more for your money with MP-44. So final thoughts wise, I think this is kind of a fun release from Takara Tomy. You get a lot in this package. You get the trailer, you get the roller, you get these figures, you've got this little command station center, whatever you call it. You got the jetpack, you got all these heads, you've got the blast effects. The blast effects are actually really kind of fun. The Starscream stuff. I mean, you get a lot of stuff in this box. But the bottom line is, for me, at the retail price of $450, I can't recommend this. And there's two main reasons why I can't recommend this. Number one is this failure of the knee, that ratchet. At this price point, even at the $350 price point, I can't forgive this. That's something that's got to be worked out in the QC. Takara's got to figure out a way to check that kind of stuff. Now, I am not the only one to this issue. Out of the three of us, myself, T-Man, 978, and Pig for Life Reviews, two of us had this issue. Two of us broke our figure. We're both trying to get new ones, right, sent to us from Amazon. They're going to replace them, but that shouldn't be the case, right? These figures are very expensive, and at this price point, you can't be having this kind of issue. The other thing is I've got some issues with the hand. The gun is kind of loose and it just sort of falls out. This joint here is a little bit loose. Some of the panels don't quite fit together, so you can see right here in the arm, it sort of pops apart. You can see that. And sometimes it stays, sometimes it pops off. Hopefully you can see that. And that's the kind of stuff that really bugs me. And like when you look at the transform element, it doesn't have any of that. Everything fits together so smoothly. The tolerances on that are perfect. I don't really have any issues. And to have that on this, I may be a paint issue. That may be how that happened. But, I mean, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for a company like Takara, who owns this property, to not make a high-quality figure, right? It should be something that it's just nothing compares, right? It should be the top dog, the best, nothing else in comparison in terms of quality, right? They've got to have the best quality. If they don't have the quality, then what's the point of being Takara? Right? You got to have the quality. Some of the other things that bother me, the panel breakup. There's a lot of panel breakup here and there. And in terms of looks, the front of the figure looks really good. But when you look at that truck mode, the back of the vehicle just, it doesn't compare to the others. So for me, this is not good enough for me to accept. At $350, at $450 retail, I can't recommend this based on the flaws that I have, especially the ones that are just breakages. Because my other Optimus Prime, they don't have any breakages. They didn't break out of the box like this and fail. The other things are more preference stuff, you know, things like the panel breakup and looseness and stuff like that. But what I can't forgive, and this is another one here, the leg, they tend to come apart for some reason, like the tabs don't stay together. So as you're playing with it, manipulating it, and this is really bad now. This is actually causing a problem, but as you play with it, this knee separates and it starts to get a gap and ends up looking like it's not a single piece. Up next, we're going to take a look at the metallic version of X-Transbot's Klaatu, their version of Cosmos, and see how that compares. But that's really it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.